The Madlanga Commission of Inquiry this week, you saw it focus heavily on investigating police corruption, political interference, the IDAC as well. Proceedings made headlines, of course, when Chairperson Justice Mbuyiseli Madlanga then ordered criminal charges to be laid against Northwest businessman Suliman Carrim for repeatedly failing to appear. The Commission also had evidence this week linking the tow truck industry, drug trade, whilst Gregory Loftus testified about his son Bevan's killing during an alleged police operation. Let's unpack the week's happenings. Andy Mashaile is now joining us. He's a security expert. Andy, very good morning. Thank you for making time to chat with us about the week that was.
Listen, good morning to you and the magnificent crew in this discussing the animating week, the things that we picked up from Madlanga. Some of them very horrifying, some of them shaking us to the core.
Absolutely, Andy. Let's get into it because we're connecting the evidence from the that we heard this week about police, organized crime, the tow truck industry. There was drugs, alleged hit squads. That bigger picture that's beginning to emerge. Talk to us about that. There was that 2.5 million rand hit as well. So when we're speaking about financial auditing trails, communication records as well, that murder for hire plot, it's painting a grim picture.
A grim picture indeed. Stuff right out of horror movies and stuff out of fiction movies, but we're picking it in real time. For the fact that you are talking about the 2.5 million payout before the execution of Bevan Loftus, having listened to his father narrate and Tate Madlanga and the commission putting some of the testimony of Mr. Loftus Senior apart, and also listening to Captain Houston articulating it so well and so smooth in terms of how the operations unfold, also drawing the picture that we don't know about Bevan Loftus on the canvas of time. Smooth, and there was no serious contradictions in what the captain had said. Jumping to a level higher than the captain to Governor, Colonel Governor, who it is alleged that took the 2.5 million on a hit request, or on a hit for request by one of those in the tow truck industries. Very, very stressful for us to pick that up. Quickly flipping to Mr. Carrim and realizing, listen, I did have some engagement with some of your colleagues. I knew that Mr. Carrim was not going to appear yesterday, and I can certainly tell you he will not appear in the next Madlanga sitting, because the evidence, the time that he spent before the commission was very, very brutal, and there is no one who would want to take himself through the fire of the commission. The hot seat makes a lot of people want to run to the lovingly and respectfully ward called the Madlanga ward, and it is against that background that we are able to see into the future. Listen, what comes out of what came out of the defense of Mr. Carrim and the criminal charges having it being laid. Let's see if he will not pitch up before a court of law to respond to the to those criminal charges. You know,
Andy, thank you for speaking to all of those elements. And let's quickly delve a little bit further into that. I actually want to look at the ballistic, the operational evidence, which now dates back to 2023, that Durban shooting, which killed Bevan Loftus and 4 others. There was a captain's report, police report that had been issued, right? Standard tactical engagement, but there are discrepancies. What are the unanswered questions that remain, the evidence that really needs to be established to look at who is responsible beyond the allegations as well? And then when we take it a step further, we're looking at the tow truck industry. It featured prominently in the evidence as well. So now we're connecting drugs. We're connecting organized crime, the toe tag industry, the infiltration of the criminal networks now on a larger scale, even incorporating witness P's, testimony, the clandestine counter-intelligence drug operations that were happening.
Listen, you and I can see organized crime networks in real time. You are connecting the dots. I'm joining you in connecting the dots. And we can clearly see that some of the tow trucks that we see by the roadside and the rumors that go with them spilling oil at some of those crossing points and them being quick to the accident scene and them using muscle to take cars sometimes from females who would then be forced to sign that the car must be towed and or must be picked up by this tow truck company or the next, and that car going into the pound, rating at 1,000 rand a day. 15 days later, it's 15,000, and the owner is not able to pay that 15,000, and that car being sold to defray the expenses. And the connection of law enforcement agencies, the traffic cops who are on those scenes, and the police officers who would be on those scenes. Let me qualify this statement. Okay. Not all police officers and traffic officers are rogue, but we know that they are rogue police officers, and they know that they are rogue because they get something from the tow truck companies. And we also learned that some of those tow trucking companies, especially in that part of the world, KZN, we learned that they are also distributing drugs. They move drugs, and it's not easy for law enforcement agencies, if there's no intelligence, to can identify and know that industry as a drug distribution point, as a runnership spot, Diesel. And these are some of the things that lead to the next point of the police report. The police report, obviously having it been intensively interrogated by the Madlanga Commission, brought those glaring gaps, and those glaring gaps are a serious cause for concern that law enforcement officials or seniors in the KZN space and all over the country would have to address for future's sake, that police officers should not do what we have learned that has been happening in the past.
And Andy, to expand on your point, there's also the task team infiltration. So we're following, Len John's explosive testimony about rival gangs, how they use specialized police task teams to settle personal scores. So there's that internal validation and the measures that have now really failed to ultimately detect the syndicate infiltration as well. The deeper rot on that front that's coming through.
We almost missed the IPIC point, but I'm happy that you brought it up for discussion. IPIC does policing on the police. IPIC investigates these shootings. I, myself, and my team have an IPIC investigation on a certain kennel from the Hawks in Mpumalanga. It's good that you have institutions that IPIC would go and do proper investigations and unearth what has been hidden, so that, Lizel, we must not have a system that can do as it wishes. I can imagine, Lizel, should we have an SAPS judge, like the DPCI judge, like the IDAC judge, we would be having some of those instruments forming part of the SAPS reset agenda as announced by Acting Minister Firoz Kachali. And we support many of the points raised in the reset. And for those points to be smartly executed and implemented, we need to have these gaps that came out of the testimony so that those points in the reset can address the gaps that came out of the testimony as interrogated by the Madlanga Commission.
Yeah. And you know, Andy, then we turn our attention to another happening this week, Suliman Carrim's non-appearance, the legal strategy there. You've got the Promotion of Administrative Justice Act, the Paja High Court challenge. And I wonder now if we look at the legal strategy, Carrim's legal team launching that urgent High Court application, to block his testimony instead of allowing the cross-examination. Why am I asking this? Because it's raising questions about what it means when witnesses refuse to cooperate with the Madlanga Commission or with commissions of inquiry at large. And then to also look at Fadil Adams, the delay in the submission of vital Section 27 affidavit. That was right until midnight before his, he was set to testify. I will have that scheduled appearance as well. Just as we wrap up, perhaps you can balance what is playing on that front and as we look ahead to next week as well.
Listen, my sister, if Carrim will not come to the commission, as I suspect, even in the future, then the commission must go to him. He is of a sound mind. He has not lost his mind, and we can substantiate that by the visit that he took to Kuawai or Kuawai or whatever they call it, as well as the Woolly store. If he can take a walk around the block, it means he's of a sound and sane mind. The commission might have to go where he is and allow him to answer questions from wherever bed that he would be sleeping on. I think that strategy, Lizel, has some serious holes that can be poked. If I were sitting in the Madlanga Commission and advising the Madlanga Commission, one of the steps would be to go to where he is and to ensure that he's on in camera privately and he answers the questions. I think Mr. Fadil Adams has no hiding place can continue to play games with the Madlanga Commission. He has indicated that he needs time before the commission, and he's at time, and he is not playing the game, even though he was advised 3 months earlier that he needed to respond or submit a statement. So it shows that there is something not on with Mr. Adams.
And there's just so many more questions and answers at this point. But Andy, you've made sense of what transpired. Perhaps we'll also monitor developments as we age into the new week. But thank you for your time. Andy Mashaile this morning is a security expert joining us unpacking Madlanga Commission happenings this week.